If you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. If an elephant has its foot on the tail of a mouse and you say that you are neutral, the mouse will not appreciate your neutrality. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. It takes an endless amount of history to make even a little tradition. History is a set of lies agreed upon. History will be kind to me, for I intend to write it. I came, I saw, I conquered. Those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Following the light of the sun, we left the old world. Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. I like the dreams of the future better than the history of the past. History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not be lived again. We are not makers of history, we are made by history. People are trapped in history, and history is trapped in them. The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much, it is whether we provide enough for those who have little. A small body of determined spirits fired by an unquenchable faith in their mission can alter the course of history. That men do not learn very much from the lessons of history is the most important of all the lessons of history. There are no extraordinary men, just extraordinary circumstances that ordinary men are forced to deal with. History is a cyclic poem written by time upon the memories of man. History never looks like history when you are living through it. If one morning I walked on top of the water across the Potomac River, the headline that afternoon would read, "President Can't Swim." History is indeed little more than the register of the crimes, follies, and misfortunes of mankind. History is a gallery of pictures in which there are few originals and many copies. The very ink with which history is written is merely fluid prejudice. The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. As our case is new, so we must think anew and act anew. The man who is swimming against the stream knows the strength of it. History is the sum total of things that could have been avoided. Peace, plenty, and contentment reign throughout our borders, and our beloved country presents a sublime moral spectacle to the world. A truly American sentiment recognizes the dignity of labor and the fact that honor lies in honest toil. The world we see that seems so insane is the result of a belief system that is not working. To perceive the world differently, we must be willing to change our belief system, let the past slip away, expand our sense of now, and dissolve the fear in our minds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. For a time I rest in the grace of the world, and am free. Few will have the greatness to bend history itself, but each of us can work to change a small portion of events, and in the total, of all those acts will be written the history of this generation. Be as a tower firmly set, shakes not its top for any blast that blows. The past actually happened, but history is only what someone wrote down. I do not think it is an exaggeration to say history is largely a history of inflation. Usually inflation's engineered by governments for the gain of governments. Most of the things worth doing in the world had been declared impossible before they were done. Human history becomes more and more a race between education and catastrophe. The whole course of human history may depend on a change of heart in one solitary and even humble individual. For it is in the solitary mind and soul of the individual that the battle between good and evil is waged and ultimately won or lost. I cannot lead you into battle. I do not give you laws or administer justice, but I can do something else. I can give my heart and my devotion to these old islands and to all the peoples of our brotherhood of nations. Civilization is a movement and not a condition, a voyage and not a harbor. Get up tomorrow early in the morning and earlier than you did today, and do the best that you can. Always stay near me, for tomorrow I will have much to do and more than I ever had, and tomorrow blood will leave my body above the breast. I have tried to lift France out of the mud, but she will return to her errors and vomitings. I cannot prevent the French from being French. 90% of my time is spent on 10% of the world. Most of us spend too much time on the last 24 hours and too little on the last 6,000 years. Never doubt that you can change history. You already have. Posterity. You will never know how much it cost the present generation to preserve your freedom. I hope you will make a good use of it. Here men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon. July 1969 AD. We came in peace for all mankind. In the Confederate Army, an officer was judged by stark courage alone, and this made it possible for the Confederacy to live 4 years. Time is my greatest enemy. History is an account, mostly false, of events, mostly unimportant, which are brought about by rulers, mostly knaves, and soldiers, mostly fools.